the rehabilitation of prisoners forward. So basically they can become functioning members of society, and this is key to reducing return offenders. Many prisoners have the opportunity to study in prison, but that does not often translate into them being reintegrated into society. The Prison to College Pipeline SA program was launched in July, and to tell us more, I'm joined by Stellenbosch University Law Faculty Academic Director, Dr. Mary Nel. Dr. Nel, thank you very much for joining us here on Morning Live.
My pleasure. Good morning.
So, Dr. Nel, the project began
What would you like to know?
Carry on, sorry.
Sorry, what would you like to know about the project?
Okay, good. I'll ask you a question. The project began in the Bruntvlei Correctional Centre in Worcester, in the Cape. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yes, I got the idea for the project, first of all, from some colleagues of mine in New York who've started one, which is the Prison to College Pipeline, but there are also some colleagues in Cambridge in England who've got a similar program going. And I thought, why not here? So I decided to initiate this collaboration between Stellenbosch University and Bruntvlei Prison in Worcester. And what it entails is students from Stellenbosch and prisoners who are studying through UNISA at Bruntvlei, at least in this initial stage, will be learning together in prison.
Which is actually fantastic. It really is. It's a great idea. And the program is facilitated by Stellenbosch University with the premise that universities have a powerful role to play in creating safer communities. I mean, that's where the heart of this all is, and that educational programs that operate inside prisons must be continued outside. But how realistic is this goal?
It is a challenge, but my way of thinking is if we're learning together, then we're collaborating, we're interacting, and then we're rehumanizing education, and we're breaking down those barriers that separate people who have been marginalized by being imprisoned from people in communities. And when they return to community, then the hope is also that they can study further. And even if they don't study further, at least they have a support network which can hopefully sustain them and reduce the chance that they will be tempted to return to crime.
I suppose being the security conscious South African that many of us have embedded into us, how safe is this program? Because from what I gather and what I understand is that the university students from the outside enter the prison regularly to learn alongside their incarcerated peers and vice versa. So talk to us about the safety precautions.
Well, I mean, in my interactions so far, I haven't felt in any way threatened or unsafe in the presence of the incarcerated students that we're going to be learning together with. So, I mean, I assume, of course, there are always correctional service, personnel and staff in the vicinity. But the way I see them and the way the university students and the incarcerated students see each other is we're just fellow learners. Yeah. We don't label each other as, people who've committed crimes or people who are coming from university. We're just there to learn together. And I think that's really important. We're not othering those people. We're actually seeing that there's much more in common than there are things that keep us apart.
Yeah. I'd be interested to hear the response from correctional services to all of this, because we had quite an interesting and fiery conversation between POPCRU, which is the union that represents a lot of the staff of correctional services, and correctional services. And one of the issues that POPCRU brought up was the fact that they are not doing enough to rehabilitate the offenders, and getting them back into society to ensure that they don't commit crime again is one of the biggest problems. So talk to me about the relationship that you have and how correctional services have welcomed an initiative like this.
Correctional Services has been very, very supportive of this initiative. It's been amazing. I was in prison again, it sounds funny, last week Thursday, and I was talking to the head of the prison and also the head of education in Bruntvlei. And I mean, they were so accommodating and so wonderful. It was basically, when do you want to come? What exactly do you want to do? Oh, we've got a lovely big hall that we can give you where people can sit around tables and learn together. You know, it was just the overwhelming response has been, we want to be a part of this. We want to help you. You know, what can we do to make this a reality? I've been very happy about the response.
Well, I mean, that is very, very good, and it's very uplifting, but obviously it's something that you'd want to make national, because talk to me, currently is it just in the Western Cape with Stellenbosch University?
Well, at the moment, this is the first initiative that's ever been in South Africa of this kind. And we're not calling it Prison to College Pipeline because we think that's sort of a New York name for it. Our initiative is called the Ubuntu Learning Community. So that's the Stellenbosch initiative. And we are hoping that by making sure that people are involved right from the beginning, that it's very collaborative, that people can feel empowered, that it's a really good start, and that other universities and other prisons will see, oh, wow, you know, this works and it's great and it's not so hard to implement, and that other universities will follow suit.
Good.
What we're doing at the moment, from the beginning of next year, is an introductory, almost a pilot project, which will be interdisciplinary. So we'll involve academics from various faculties of Stellenbosch who will go in, and we're discussing a common theme from various perspectives. And the theme we're going to be discussing is an Ubuntu-related theme. It's called Am I Because We Are? Exploring Selves and Communities. Fantastic. And we think it's got very much scope for interesting interaction from a variety of perspectives.
I just want to...
And the importance there as well is there's no one truth.
Yeah.
You know, each discipline brings its own insights. Each person has their own insights. Everybody can contribute. And nobody's an expert in that sense.
Indeed. I want to wrap it up with a very uplifting story, because you've got two phenomenal success stories coming out of this. There's two guys, Devon Simons, the first graduate from the program in the US, and Morgan Makaluza. Tell me about these two guys very quickly, if you can.
Yeah, no, there's some excellent success stories from these initiatives elsewhere. You know, it clearly is the type of initiative that can make a lasting change in people's lives, that can change their outlook on the world, and also can change how the community perceives them, you know, breaking down the stigma of people who've been in prison. So, I mean, interacting with people who've gone through and who've had this experience, you know, you can really see these people have been changed. And, you know, it's such a rewarding thing to be able to make those changes in people's lives, or to facilitate people breaking down the barriers and making these changes.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Good luck. This is really a fantastic program. The Stellenbosch University Law Faculty Academic Director, Dr. Mary Nel, talking to us about the Prison to College Pipeline Essay Program, launched in July, and hopefully it'll become a national campaign. Let's take a break. We'll see you after this.